So NLP techniques for love and relationships. I'm going to start this video by sharing with you the techniques that you can use in relationship. And then I'm going to share with you something way more important. In other words, when I've worked with clients who've come to me because they want to have a relationship, how I help them program your subconscious mind to attract the relationships you want without needing to know techniques. But I'll give you the techniques first, okay? So first and foremost, criteria and values. I cannot imagine being in a relationship with someone and not knowing their criteria and values. Your criteria, your beliefs about what's most important in a relationship, criteria, your beliefs about what's important in this context, they're about what's important in relationship. Beliefs create perceptual filters. They turn on and off access to our states, our skills, our abilities. They also create self-fulfilling prophecy. So when someone has a belief about what's important in a relationship, they're going to tune out things that don't match that belief. They're going to be seeking to have that met. They're going to turn on and off access to their feelings, emotions, love, happiness, etc. And it's going to create self-fulfilling prophecies depending on how you either meet those criteria or you don't. Yeah? So if I don't know what my partner's most important beliefs are in relationship, I cannot fulfill them intentionally. I might do it by accident. Maybe I do it because I can pick up on the fact that so-and-so's not feeling happy, right? But if I don't know their criteria, or even worse, if my criteria doesn't match their criteria, I'll tell you where I've gotten into trouble. I think buying flowers for people is dumb. Don't hate me. I know. Okay, put that aside. I get it. All right? People like to have flowers bought for them. But in my brain, that's unimportant. However, in a lot of women's brains, it's very important. And I had to learn that. Yeah? That if my beliefs about what's important don't match the beliefs of somebody else, it's gonna cause conflict. So criteria. Notice I also said values. Yeah? What is a value? A value is the state you get to experience through having your criteria met. It's the experiences. This is a better definition. Your values are the experiences, the states that you most desire to have or you most desire not to have. Okay? So if I know what those states are, I can engineer ways for that person to have those states with me through the relationship. And this should not shock you, but if the person you're in relationship with is not getting their criteria met and they're not getting their values met, they will be freaking miserable in that relationship. And the inverse is true. They will be so fulfilled if you meet their criteria and values. This is why it was the first on the list. Okay, next, going down the list here, we have love strategies and attraction strategies. Do you remember back in your NLP practitioner, those of you who've taken it, you did something called strategies. A strategy, as a metaphor, is the recipe that you follow internally in order to produce a phenomenon. And so when you love someone, there are certain things that you do on the inside when you love someone. When you feel loved, there are certain things that you do on the inside. When you're attracted to someone, there's certain things that you do. When you feel attracted, there are certain things that you do. So knowing what your partner's strategies are, a lot of people, it's really sad, but a lot of people are in relationships and don't feel loved. Well, what if you knew your partner's love strategy so that you could make them feel loved? It's a very, very powerful thing. rapport, obviously, your state, obviously. Let's talk about the flip side. How do I work with, in the past, when I would get a client who wanted a relationship, how did I program your unconscious mind to go get the relationship or attract or etc., right? We clearly get into relationships based upon our subconscious programming. There would not be a single person on the planet who would debate me on that. Not a single one. So, the quality of your relationships, whether you're in one or not, and this is the only time that I'm going to use this big of a generalization. The quality of your relationships, whether you're in one or not, is almost always about your unconscious programming. If the relationship is thriving, unconscious programming. And we seek people who are at our level unconsciously. So when I work with people on this, I do elicit their criteria. I do elicit their values for what they want in a relationship. But sometimes we have to update them. That a lot of times we form our beliefs about what's important. We form our values, the things we want to experience, based on negative experiences in the past. So I don't want to be lonely. I don't want to be alone. It's getting too late for me to have kids, right? Unfortunately, when we look for relationships based on away froms, number one, we have a tendency to attract them. Not always, but there's a tendency to do it. And it's a very strong tendency. So by trying to move away from loneliness, we typically create it, etc., etc., etc. So in coaching, what we'll do is we'll clear the away froms. We have to release the emotional attachments that created those away froms in the first place. And then we create a new values list, a new set of criteria. And once we update that, then we create a mental imprint for that relationship. And every time that I've done this, that individual ends up getting in a relationship in a very short period of time. In fact, one of my former clients now, who I did this with her, is married in a very short period of time. So, techniques, yeah, techniques are great. Learn them, do them, use them. But it's never going to be as powerful as getting it right on the inside.